All right, so let's introduce this bad boy. You want to take it this time? Because I've taken it both times, and I'll just introduce Abby.
Sure.
All right, so let's start this in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, Speak Freezies. Welcome to another edition of Speak Freely. I am, I guess, Mr. Speak? And that must be Mr. Freely? I don't know. I'm not used to doing this.
That's my bit. Get your own bit. Get your own bit.
Anyways, I am Mr. Kuno Stars. That is my friend David B. David B.
Hello.
Music 21.
Hello.
Whatever you want to call him. A schmo. I don't know.
Call me Mr. Professor David B. Music 21, please. That's my official title.
You heard it here first. Anyways, we are continuing our FILMTOBER madness.
Yes, and today, oh my God, all of them have been doozies, but I feel like today is like the dooziest of the doozies because we are doing Disney princesses based on their movies, not characters, but the movies, but still. Holy crap. And there's already controversy. Our guest that we have today already hates me, and that's perfectly fine because I can't hate her. And honestly, I don't know anyone that does. She's like the coolest, sweetest person ever. She's hilarious. If you've ever followed her on Twitter, she has great reactions to all the Schmodown live events. She's a question writer. She runs the TikTok. She's our personal social media advisor. She has a YouTube, Abby Freel, and a Twitch channel, Absters21. Yes, that's right. We have the great, the wonderful, the excellent, the slightly hateful, but that's okay. I forgive her. Abby Freel.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here. Oh my goodness.
Dude, we're so psyched to have you here too. And of course, like when Brian told me about wanting to do Disney Princess, I was like, there's only one person, bro. There's only one person.
Thank you.
There's only one.
I mean, you did say I hate you, and I do because the bracket that you made is a lot.
Again, if anyone has a problem with the bracket,
I will take full blame for the brackets. Yes,
it's that guy. No, this is a team effort. I had zero input, but I'll take some responsibility.
Okay, cool.
So real quick, before we get into the bracket, let's talk about a little bit of our history with Disney, particularly the Disney princesses. And Abby, since you're our guest, we're gonna start with you. What's like your first Disney princess movie and like your history with all of that stuff?
Yeah. So my first love for movies came from Disney, and specifically The Little Mermaid. So I don't know if that's going to be beef later, but I grew up, honestly, there's not even a princess that I hate. Growing up in the 2000s, which was like the height of the Disney princess lineup with all the toys and the movies and all this direct-to-video sequels, I grew up with all the princesses. And so I have a lot of love for all of them. And so I'm excited to, put them up against each other and see who I love the most.
Brian, what's like your first memories and stuff of like Disney princesses? Do you remember what was your first Disney princess film?
Oh man. If you want to count the Lion King with Princess Nala, if she's even a princess, no? No, am I stretching a little bit?
You're stretching.
No, I mean, Lion King was the first Disney film I saw in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
But my first memory of Disney princesses, probably having The Little Mermaid on cassette tape, watching that over and over again, having the soundtrack also on cassette tape, listening to that in the car over and over again. There's Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and then Lion King on cassette tape too. We had those three soundtracks, just like on loop, on cassette tape.
On cassette.
I want to make sure. Yes.
Right. For those of you, Abby, cassette. What that was this little square thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Never heard of it.
My initial, I have two younger sisters, and my initial one that I vividly remember seeing it because one of my little sisters played it on loop since we got it on VHS was Snow White. Like she would legit play that on loop, and then it transitioned to obviously Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, and then like movies like, I know technically Alice isn't a princess, but movies like Alice in Wonderland, and then of course Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, which was like my personal favorite Disney film, still is to this day. I love that animated film, but I can
The
say
2019 version.
yes, the
Yeah.
best version. I hate that version. You know that. How dare you, sir?
It's getting a sequel. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Yes.
Oh.
Number one, why? Number two, how? Number
Like-
three, what?
That's like I think I should be excited because it's Richard Jenkins, but also like, what?
Exactly, right? What are they gonna do? Are they gonna actually do Lion
Simba's
King?
Pride.
Yeah.
Simba's Pride.
Yeah, the article that came out with the scoop said that it was gonna be a sequel, but also exploring Mufasa's origin story. And I'm like, he was a lion.
So it's a prequel sequel?
Yeah, that's what it made it sound like. A midquel? I don't know. Not a midquel. Midquel's like Lion King 1.5.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm already not excited.
Yeah.
Dude, look, I get how for some people that's their first Lion King and they love it. That's great. To me, being the old man that I am, and the animals can't emote whatsoever. I hated it. I legit was so bored in that theater, just being like checking my watch, like, damn it, we still got an hour.
And it's also like the live action reboot that is the most like the original, like beat for beat, line for line.
Yes.
Like I would say every other one kind of does something different. I maybe would put Beauty and the Beast in the same category as Lion King, but like, dang, I just was like, why did I pay $20 to watch this when I could just go watch the other one?
Yes,
On VHS,
exactly.
yeah.
On 8-track. on Laserdisc.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Abby, Laserdiscs were these big CD.
Was that also the floppy thing or like?
No, the floppy disk. By the way, how tired are you of that joke? So I can stop it right now.
It's okay. I am taking in that I'm the young one in the Schmodown community as long as I can have it, because who knows who's going to come up and take that from me. So you know what? We're just going to revel in it for right now.
You know what? Fair.
Yeah.
We'll keep making fun of you, which is really just our envy of like, damn it, she still has all her youth and we're slowly withering away.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, with that being said, are you guys ready to become frenemies and probably most likely just plain old enemies?
I don't know.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I already hate Brian and we're contractually
And I already hate
obligated.
David. So
Yeah, we still got a year left
Cool.
in this podcast at least, so we'll see. But and I know Janine hates me, I think.
based on Tarantino, yeah.
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 All right, let's get
Although
this.
Rachel and I are best friends though, so
That is true. Rachel loves Brian, and me and Rachel are no longer friends. So.
Rachel Silverstreenie.
Yeah, Silverstream. Yeah.
What did you guys do with her?
Kevin Smith. What else?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. With that being said, let's get this bloodbath on the road. So, if you guys have been checking our Instagrams and stuff, we have the brackets posted up. So please play along. We each have our own individual bracket that we filled out. And at the end of the show, we're going to reveal who had the closest bracket, who was way off. Who knows? Maybe we'll even all agree. Probably not. But maybe. A dream is a wish your heart makes. All right. Let's do this. We have a couple of in plays. First up, we have Frozen versus The Princess and the Frog. Then we have Aladdin versus Pocahontas. Sleeping Beauty versus Brave. Moana versus Tangled. Good God, that one was hard for me.
yeah.
And then this one was really hard for me too. Cinderella versus Mulan. Now, usually we let our guests choose which one they want to duke out first. So, Abby, based on those first round in play matches, which one do you want to tackle first?
I think we just need to get right into it because it is the one that is breaking my heart the most, and it is Frozen versus Princess and the Frog.
Let's do it. Let me get my bracket. Alrighty. So,
Okay.
since
So
you chose,
for the listeners out there, I just want to say that we picked these princesses based off of Disney's princess line, right? So technically, like Pocahontas and Mulan, they're not princesses, but they are part of the line.
Yes.
Yeah. So don't at me, please.
No, you're following Disney canon. So
Yes.
there you go. See,
Yeah.
we're already Abby already likes us, right?
yeah, I do
Right.
respect that because there's
All right.
always those conversations of like, what about Megara? And I'm like, nope, not a Disney princess. Disney.
Sorry. What about Princess Leia? Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Nope. She gave up her royalty to become a general. So that's all I got to say about that.
Exactly.
All right, Abby, since you chose it, you get to start us off with, oh boy, Frozen versus Princess and the Frog.
Okay. Well, I just want to let you know that I told you this before we started recording, but this is one of the reasons why I specifically hate you. Because these movies are both so perfect for me. I have such different attachments to both of them, and I have a lot of love for them. But I think I'm going to choose The Princess and the Frog because I just think that Tiana is one of the most just thought out characters, and she has such a beautiful arc in her story, and like she's a really good example. And I think Tangled does this as well, is like she has a love interest, but it's not defining to her. She gets what she wants and has like a man supporting her. Like we love to see that. And I do want to vote for Frozen because it's so classic, but I think Princess and the Frog should be more historic in the sense it was the first African-American princess, last, as of right now, 2D animated princess. So I want to vote for Tiana.
Sweet. All right, Brian.
Right.
Frozen versus Princess and the Frog.
I also went with Tiana and Princess and the Frog. Mostly because it was the last 2D animated Disney film, and that meant a lot to me. I was in college when I went to go watch this, and it was, to me, very special. Right? I mean, Frozen. It was fun. It was fine. Right? Not my favorite, but to be in the theater watching Princess and the Frog was a very special moment for me. So I went with the sentimentality.
Awesome. Well, it doesn't even matter what I have to say. That's already 2 3. But in case
were you voting for Frozen?
No, I voted for Princess and the Frog too.
Oh, cool. Good.
And I purely went because I'll be honest, this is the one film I haven't seen yet. I've seen literally all of them.
You haven't seen Frozen?
No, I haven't seen Princess and the Frog.
What?
That being said, I did decide to vote on it because I figured I was legit playing the game. I was like, what is Abby going to vote for? And I figured,
you thought it was going to be Frozen, didn't you?
No, I legit put Princess and the Frog right there.
Okay.
Legitimately. So
dang. I'm shook. Can you watch Princess and the Frog though? Like after this? Like
I will definitely go watch it sometime.
Do you need a Disney Plus login? Because I can drop that for you. Like
no, I have Disney Plus.
Okay, then watch it. Then you have no excuse.
I don't. I've just been very lazy, and I'll admit to it, and that's my bad. And I feel horrible.
Yeah.
But I voted for it. So are we cool? Like
we're cool. We're cool. I don't know why I'm fighting you, but you need to.
Yeah. All right. My dear esteemed friend, who I also hate, Brian. Where are we duking out next?
Let's go towards the bottom. Mulan and Cinderella.
Sweet. And just for those of you playing at home, The Princess and the Frog advances to the next round. Cool. Brian, if you would, with the update of our bracket, because we're very professional on our podcast.
Yes.
Look at this editorial magic real quick. A boom.
Dang.
Right there. Beautiful. Perfect. All right. So Cinderella, would you say Cinderella and Mulan, right?
Cinderella, Mulan, yes.
You have the honors of going first, my friend. So Cinderella and Mulan, who did you pick?
So Cinderella is my sister's favorite Disney film. Her favorite Disney princess. I don't know if it's her favorite film, but we would watch this one over and over again on VHS as well. It's a classic story, right? From rags to riches. It's about someone who is extremely selfless in that she does all this work and deserves so much better than she gets, and it kind of pays off at the end, right? It's her karma. Like she's such a wonderful person that no matter what gets thrown her way, like she's gonna get what she deserves at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of controversy of like, oh yeah, but like, you know, magic and someone has to come give it to her. She doesn't really earn it per se, but I feel like she does earn it by being who she is. That said, Mulan is for me really important. Um, not only is Eddie Murphy just hilarious, right? But but the story itself, it was incredible for me to see, because it's actually uh, an Asian representative of in Disney, which I haven't really seen before. Even though I'm not Chinese, like it still meant something to see that on Disney screen. And the story is just fun. Like I love all the songs. That's like I think the one soundtrack I listen to most right now out of all these is Mulan. Um, that said, I haven't seen the most recent live remake, nor do I think I want to.
You don't need to.
Same.
But this one also has like a special place in my heart. So I went with Mulan.
Oof.
All right, David, you're up.
All right, I'm up. All right, so growing up, Cinderella was played a lot in my household from my two little sisters, and a lot of what you echoed, right? Like, she is like this incredibly sweet, caring person, regardless of like the torment she suffers from her stepsisters and her stepmother, right? To the point where like animals and like little rats are her companion. I love those little rats too. Like Gus was like my favorite character. That's who I attached to the most watching those films.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder why, right? but but yeah, the character of it, the whole magical of it, it's very like classic Disney. So I can't even be mad at it for that, because she does earn that magicalness by just being a wonderful person, which I kind of like the moral of that. It's like as long as you're moving forward with kindness, regardless of what the world throws at you, like the world will pay you back dividends in some way, right? That being said, like Mulan is so badass. It's like what I vividly remember. It's like it's not to say there weren't like strong Disney princess characters prior to Mulan, but this is the one that really, to me, like took action. She didn't sit around and wait. Like she went and did stuff, right? She was like, I'm gonna bring honor to my family. I'm gonna take care of my dad. Like I'm gonna go do this. And she helped kick the Khan's asses at the end. And yeah, it's like it has bangers, right? Reflection and Be a Man. Eddie Murphy's hilarious in it with dishonor on your whole family.
Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
Just everything about it is like, it's great. It's hilarious. It's heartwarming. It's heartbreaking. The songs are banger. The animation's wonderful. And it just resonates more with me. Just because I love the character of Mulan. She's great in it. So I also voted for Mulan. Abby, even though Mulan wins, but who did you vote for?
I love both these movies. I'm going to say that about every movie. But I definitely would have voted for Mulan as well, because even though Cinderella is probably the most classic film in terms of Disney history, maybe Snow White, but whatever. Like it's such a classic film in Disney history, and it has so many classic animation history moments. I think Mulan is the stronger film of the two. Awesome.
Well, so far we came into this thinking Abby was going to hate us, and we've all agreed.
Yeah.
We're 2 for 2.
I don't know.
That being said, my choice, because I get to choose now, is Aladdin versus Pocahontas. And there was a very clear winner for me on this one, because one of these movies is great. It has a great comedic actor in it, and one of these other films is a little problematic for me for various reasons. I chose Aladdin. If I take away the social context of Pocahontas, like it's an okay film, despite the revisionist history in it, I guess you can say. The message in it is good too. I like the animation. Like a couple of songs do stick out for me in terms of Pocahontas, especially that ending. I feel is like one of the more quote unquote violent third acts in a Disney princess film, when like someone literally gets shot. Like that's pretty, like, not to say there's not other violent ones, but that one to me, like the shock of it resonated a little bit more with me. That being said, the whole rags to riches storyline of Aladdin, the comedic acting of Robin Williams as Genie, knowing how much of that script was actually ad-libbed and the animators had to just draw around a lot of those ad-lib lines. The songs in it are so wonderful, especially for me as a musician. I feel like some of the melodies and orchestration in Aladdin compared to Pocahontas is a little bit more harmonically rich in terms of like, obviously them putting Middle Eastern scales and like doing that like Eastern vibe in it, to me really resonates, and it just sounds a little bit it's more pleasant to my ears compared to just like classic musical Disney, which I feel sometimes Pocahontas leans to a lot. Not that it doesn't have like other instruments in Pocahontas as well, but just the tapestry of notes that Aladdin has to me resonates more. And yeah, dude, Jafar is such a wicked villain. Like he's like one of my favorite villains of all time. He's so despicable and he's a snake, and they beat him by outwitting him by using his own like greed and ambition against him. And that's like, I don't know. I just like how that story of like if you're too ambitious or too like greedy, like it'll be the downfall of you. So I've said a lot, but simply put, Aladdin got my vote. So Abby, Aladdin versus Pocahontas.
So when it comes to these two films, I'm going to start with Pocahontas. It is very interesting that even in the 90s, this film was made. Mm-hmm. I think that there's a lot going towards the film that do make it a beautiful film to watch. I think, like you said, David, the messaging is there. It's kind of weird, like when you think about the accuracy of everything, and like it kind of says like, oh, we solved our issues with the Native Americans, but it's like, no, that's not what happened. Mm-hmm. So I do love the songs, and I have always heard that like the A team of Disney Studios like went to work on Pocahontas, and the B team went to work on Lion King, and then like, oh, how the tables have turned on that one.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Aladdin, I think that I have come to this realization in the past couple of years that this is my favorite Disney film, and I think it is a perfect film. Ooh. And so I love Aladdin. I think, just like to repeat everything you said, like it's just got Robin Williams. Even I would maybe change Aladdin to not be Steve from Full House, but he still does a good job. And I think that it's just a really good film. It can be problematic in its own little ways, but I think it's a stronger film than Pocahontas.
For sure. Brian, do you want to join our friend group, or you want to be out of it? Essentially, what I'm asking.
So no, I'm good. Aladdin gets my vote too.
Yes.
I will say though, like Pocahontas. Whenever I think of Pocahontas, I always think of something that my 9th grade world history teacher said. Was that Disney was very kind to Pocahontas because in real life she was a 2-bagger. Which, if you don't know what that is you put one bag to cover her face, and then second one in case the first one falls off. Which is really, really bad, and that's probably as problematic as Pocahontas is. You know,
who was that? Because we went to the same high school. Who was that?
It was Mr. Wilson, I think. Was his name. No, Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy.
Okay, I didn't have him. Yeah. All right, good.
No, he retired like that year.
I wonder why.
But it sticks in my mind, and it kind of encompasses all the problems that come with Pocahontas, right? It's old white men talking about history from the white man perspective, and it sucks because it's such a good film, I think, right? You all, like both of you said, the message is, it's there. The art is actually pretty beautiful too, like all the backgrounds and the backdrops, and some of the action sequences are really great to watch too. But Aladdin has the magic that it resonates with, I think, more people.
Yeah.
Just like a whole new world in of itself. Like I could watch that sequence over and over again.
Dude, a whole new world. Friend Like Me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The only song I can think of legitimately from Pocahontas is the Savages song, which is like indicative of the problem of Pocahontas in itself. That's the one that sticks out the most to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know there's like Colors of the Wind, and then like
just around the river bend.
But like honestly, as a kid, right? Just trying to put myself back in that context of like when I first saw it when I was like however many years old, right? Like as a young boy, right? Growing up watching Power Rangers and what have you, if I'm trying to be as unbiased and objective as I could, the rhythmic aspects of that song, the Savages song, is really great. It's just it's just so sad that like the message behind it is so awful. Because the music in it is actually very, very good. It's
The
just
song kind of slaps. It's okay.
yeah, the song legitimately, yeah, it kind of does. Like if I just ignore the words, just listen to the rhythm and stuff, it's like that song's a banger. But like again, it's like the context of that message and the fact that it's made in the 90s, and it's like it is culturally and historically insensitive. And it's such a bum. If they would have called this film literally anything else, we'd probably be okay with it to some extent, right? But it's the fact that it's like these were real people that existed, and this is not the outcome that actually happened. I think that's where like most of the problems lie with it. So, and it also kind of it feels like to me, and I don't know if you guys agree with this or not. It feels like it's kind of going the way of Song of the South, where like eventually it'll just be like in the vault forever, and we'll never see it or hear of it again. What do you guys think?
Yeah, she's still like, when I think about like even the background that you have for this is like Wreck-It Ralph, like she was still in there. So like 2 years ago, they were still including her. I definitely do not think she will be getting a live action remake.
No, hopefully not.
If she did, everyone would be like, oh my God. But yeah, I don't know if it'll totally go into like into what Disney wishes Song of the South would be, where it's like totally just gone from existence. But I like they have it on Disney Plus and the sequel too, so they haven't totally gotten rid of it, and I don't think they will. But I don't think they'll be especially promoting it.
I think that's fair. That's fair. Alrighty, so Aladdin advances. So Abby, we're coming back around to you. We have Sleeping Beauty versus Brave, or Moana versus Tangled. Which one do you want to tangle with?
So I'm really scared of one of them. So I'm gonna go with Sleeping Beauty and Brave.
I knew it. Coward.
Oh,
Yeah.
not Brave at all.
No, not at all. Because so I guess I'll start talking about Brave because it's okay. It's all right. It's I think Pixar's best attempt at a Disney movie. I watch it. I always find myself watching it weirdly, but I don't necessarily enjoy the whole time that I am watching it. I think Merida is a really interesting character, and when I first saw it, I saw myself in Merida, and I like the messaging that Merida has, and she kind of even goes against, like in the film, she goes against what you see of a normal princess. I think like Brave and Frozen both were like breaking the mold against like, oh, we don't need a man and like whatever. And so Brave's all right for me. I like Merida more as a character than I do the film. It's also like really weirdly dark, like not in like the sense of like the content, but like to watch it is like, it's very like, I don't know. I don't like the lighting. That's my beef with this movie, I guess. But Sleeping Beauty, I love this movie. I think it is the most beautiful Disney film. The animation for its time and the way that they chose to style this movie with like the design of it is just so incredibly beautiful. And Aurora, I would feel like, is the princess that gets attacked the most when it comes to like being her own person and everything. But I just think that Sleeping Beauty is just a classic fairy tale, and it's a really magical movie, and I think it's the stronger of the two by far.
Brian, you want to tackle this or you want me to go? I'll give you the option.
I'll go.
All right, go for it, bud.
When I think of Sleeping Beauty, all I can think of is the Disney castle at Disneyland. Right? I can't sit through the film. I cannot sit through I know I've seen it before as a kid, but if I were to watch it right now, I cannot sit through all of it. And so, like, the only way I kind of remember what the story is because of the castle at Disneyland, right? I go through, I can read all the placards, read the story that way, but to spend however long, like, was it like 90, 100 minutes? No, I can't do it.
Dang. Oh my God.
Shut. Fired. Damn.
Yes. Oh my God.
Now that hate's on you, man. You got the heat. Hell yeah.
Well, let's see what he chooses. Let's see.
I think it's fair to say what he's gonna choose.
I love Brave. It's I think just because the main theme is, it's a mother-daughter relationship kind of film, and it's anything dealing with family in that way. Like, yeah, it's Merida's a very strong character. She's a very strong personality, but the core of this film is, her relationship with her mother, and the fact that they don't get along in the film, and then she has to go through this journey of realizing how much she actually does love her mom. That to me resonated like a lot, because I'm a sucker for parent and child relationship films, and I'm very biased towards anything with a bow and arrow. Like it's
Interesting.
I archery is one of my favorite things to do, and so just from the
Nerd.
trailer, straight from the trailer, I was like, okay, I'm in, right? And then I watched the film in theaters, and I cried a little bit. I will say, yeah. So I went with Brave.
Oh God.
David, who are you friends with? Is the real question.
No, why? I should have gone next.
I swear to God.
Mm.
No. All right, guys. That's been an episode. We'll talk to you. Can I do a John Roker real quick and just quickly erase my whiteboard? For pretending
No,
I'm
you
doing
have
something else?
to. You have to tell us your honest opinion.
All right.
We won't be mad at you.
That's a lie.
We won't be more mad at you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're already
we'll
mad.
still be mad, but not madder. All right. This was really hard for me, honestly, because again, like growing up,
I cannot relate. Sorry.
growing up, all of these like the classic Disney princess films were like on repeat in my house: Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, right? And the classic Disney films, Pocahontas, Pinocchio is what I originally meant to say, but like, Freudian slip, I guess. Brave, like the character of Merida is so good in it. I remembered the first time watching Brave, if I'm being honest, the first time I watched it, I didn't like it. I thought it was a little draggy at some points. And I don't know if it was just the mindset or whatever, but I remember my initial viewing of it, I was not particularly crazy about it. But the more I watched it, the more it actually kind of grew on me. I found myself liking it more, not less. And if I'm being honest, oh God.
No.
I don't remember. I've seen Sleeping Beauty 50 times. I remember Maleficent turning into a dragon, the three fairies, and that's it. I don't remember anything else about the film. It did not resonate with me as a young man. I do feel the character of Aurora is a little weak. And then also Disney kind of ruined the whole coolness of Maleficent being like the ultimate badass by like, she's really a good guy. Ugh. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Abby. You can hate me again. I
The
chose
fact
I chose Brave.
Sleeping Beauty. I thought it was going to be a landslide. Are you joking?
I'm so sorry.
Oh my God. It is not getting past the second round. I will tell you that. I will make sure of that.
We'll find out.
Oh God.
So far we have our first real legit upset. Brave makes it on. I'm
what
sorry.
the heck? How?
At least David and I are still friends, so that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? You guys have been friends since high school. You know
Yeah.
what? Still, you're more of a history. Like, what the heck? Brave, beating Sleeping Beauty.
Dude, if I'm being legit honest, I legit try to write. I'm not even kidding. I legit try to write my bracket thinking, how is Abby gonna fill out hers? Because I want to be cool, man. We work together. So
Did you think I was going to choose Brave?
I kind of low-key did. Yeah, that's my bad.
No. Oh my God. But also,
See-
like, I don't hate Brave like with all my heart. I just think like at baseline, I love all these movies, but like literally Brave is at the bottom.
And that's fair because like again, it's like it's all personal preference. It's like for me, Sleeping Beauty, just I know I've had that movie on repeat in my house growing up. I don't remember any songs from it. I remember like 3 scenes in it. Like it's not a movie I can like. It's like Brian. Like it was a hard watch for me growing up. Legitimately, it was.
So interesting. I'm so shook.
I am so sorry. I guess it's just it's a patriarchy thing, I guess. Anyways, we're moving on.
Yeah.
I feel really bad. So, Abby, you want to choose another one? I'm sorry.
There's only one left. It's Moana.
This one legit was
like,
hard for
what
me.
the heck, bro? Also, like, who ranked Tangled above or no, below Moana?
The internet did.
The internet. Yeah.
Interesting.
The internet did. Thank you, Metacritic.
Okay, whatever. So am I going first?
Sure.
You can technically. Brian could go first, but if you want to close off the play-ins, that'd actually be pretty cool if you want to. If you don't, that's fine too. Because if you hate us,
I can go, but like if Brian wants to go.
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, then I'll go.
Okay.
So I love Moana. I think that it is a beautiful film with just the core of what a Disney heroine is, and her character arc is such a beautiful journey to watch. The music is amazing. We got Lin-Manuel Miranda. We got Dwayne the Rock Johnson, who is one of my favorite actors of all time. Like, I'm a simp for The Rock. And I love that movie. I've seen it at least twice a year, like every year since 2016. And I love it, but I am such a Tangled stan. I love this movie. I've probably seen, since it came out, I've probably seen this movie the most times than any other movie that exists. And I just think that Rapunzel is such a good protagonist. Maybe Moana would be the better one, but I just think Tangled is a stronger film, and it encapsulates everything that a Disney princess is. It kind of takes the old era of Disney princesses and brings it into a new era for sure. So I'm going to say Tangled.
all right. I like to go second.
Okay.
Moana is a great film. I really love it. Compared to, like, if you compare it to what came before it, Frozen, right? When it's like this new era of Disney animated 3D kind of films, I honestly feel Moana is the better of the two films. I like that both films kind of have like female empowerment, and the whole, like, I legitimately love the message of like, you don't need a guy, like, you're strong on your own. I love that message. And I particularly love how Moana is literally, it's kind of like that Mulan type of shade where she just kind of goes and does it. Like, she doesn't wait for anyone to tell her or set her on her path. Like, she knows what she needs to do. She just goes, does it. And my favorite character is Maui. And the longest time in a Disney movie, I love Maui. I sing You're Welcome all the freaking time. It's my go-to karaoke song when I do karaoke. I love You're Welcome. I love The Rock in it. He's really funny. Singer, he's okay, but you know, his comedic timing and like his voice acting was pretty good in that movie. The animation in it is amazing. The movie is so gorgeous to watch. It's on the level of like Pixar animation of like, you just put it on and you can put it on silent. Don't put it on silent, but you can, and just enjoy the visuals of it. It's so beautiful and vibrant, the colors of it. I've seen Tangled like 5 times. If I'm being honest, I don't remember it. I don't know why. I legitimately don't know why I don't remember the film. I remember her like having a pan and hitting the guy with a pan continuously. I remember the little like lizard chameleon sidekick she has. But the movie itself, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was just the headspace I was in when it came out. I just don't remember it. It just didn't stick with me whatsoever. So yes, I'm just embracing it now, Abby. We're enemies because
I think we are.
I'm going. I'm going with Moana. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Okay, here we go, Brian. Let's see what you have to say.
I legitimately hope you voted for Tangled because.
No, I hope you vote for Moana so we have more beef, David.
Brian, for the love of God, change it to Tangled.
Oh man, both of these films are great. I don't know if it was because of like the fact that The Princess and the Frog was like the last 2D Disney film to come out, that I was kind of like boycotting, I guess, in a sense, like the future Disney films like Frozen, Moana, Tangled. I've seen none of them in theaters. I also postponed watching them for as long as possible. Like Moana, I watched for the first time last year. Tangled, first time, and I've seen it. It was like 2 years ago, I think I saw it for the first time. And then in Frozen, I watched when it came out on Blu-ray. With that said, Moana and Tangled, they're both great stories. Tangled is kind of a classic story, right? It's based actually on an actual fairy tale. I don't know if Moana is. Do you know for a fact, Abby, if it's based on an actual story?
I don't think it's based on an actual story, like a person in time. Like I know, like Maui is like a real figure specifically for people, but I don't think Moana is.
Okay.
But I could be wrong, so don't cancel me if I got that wrong.
Can't cancel me.
Yeah.
I deserve to be canceled after this.
You said both characters like strong female, great arcs. So what it came down to for me was picking Mandy Moore or picking The Rock.
Oh, dang. You really went there.
Yeah, two very important figures in my young adult life was Mandy Moore and The Rock. Very different spectrums. But ultimately, I went with The Rock, and I went with Moana.
Cool.
Yeah. There's an awkward silence there.
Well, that was a great episode. We want to thank Abby.
Yeah, I had a really good time. I swear.
Oh gosh. Did we just ruin your bracket, God. Abby?
Yeah. I'm still shook. I'm still upset about the Brave thing. Brave does not deserve the hype that it did. Overstating beauty. Oh my God.
We're sorry.
I'm so sorry, but also not so sorry.
It's okay.
We're sorry, but not that sorry.
As
but
long
we are
as it
sorry.
doesn't beat Aladdin, like I will let y'all know now. Like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Where do you want to go next?
Oh my God, I feel bad. All right, let's. All right,
let's go there then. Let's go Aladdin versus Brave.
Okay.
All right, fair.
Y'all, I'm gonna start. I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but I'm just gonna say whoever goes first. Like, if Aladdin is a better film. Aladdin is just a perfect film.
Aladdin is the better film. I will agree with that.
Yeah,
it is definitely the better film. Brian, do you agree it's the better film?
I do. I think Aladdin is the better film. However,
all right, here we go.
Whoa.
If we're talking about Disney princesses, right? Like Jasmine. Like to me, Aladdin as a film is about Aladdin. It's not really about I know in the Guy Ritchie film they gave Jasmine more to do, which is great, and I love that aspect of it. But in the animated film, whether or not it's perfect, it's not really like a Disney princess film in my view. Whereas Brave is, it's actually about Merida. So that's where my vote went.
I
think I did. I think Aladdin is a better film overall, but if we're talking about Disney princesses, I went with Brave.
Huh.
Yeah.
I do hear you with your comments about Jasmine. She is the only one out of this whole list who is not the protagonist of her film.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So there is like that. Like I do hear you on that. But like she's still a queen, and I don't know what I have against Merida, but like my vote is for Jasmine. And
you know what? I just think Abby hates gingers, if we're being honest.
Yeah, maybe that's something. Like redheads, watch out.
So I think it's safe to say what Abby voted for, but I legit want to hear her opinion on this round. Who did you choose between Aladdin and Brave?
I chose Aladdin just because I think it's more classic than Brave. Aladdin changed a lot of things for the genre in terms of getting, like, there had been celebrities in Disney movies before, but when it came to this campaign and how they used Robin Williams for this movie, this set the precedent that we now see, which is like, got to get a star on the cast and like multiple stars. And so I think Aladdin is more classic in that sense. Yes, Brave is the only Pixar film. And I do like, I know I keep hating on her, but like, I do like Merida and I do like a lot of that film, but I just can't vote against Aladdin. That's just like, seems like sacrilegious. So.
Oh boy. So I gotta break hearts again.
Are you breaking my heart? I'm going to be so sad.
We're about to find out whose heart I'm breaking.
God.
I love Aladdin. I legitimately love it. In terms of a film, I honestly think it's a better film. And Robin Williams is like probably the best performance in any Disney animated film. Like this, like in terms of comedy, I guess if I want to be specific, he is probably the greatest comedic role in any Disney animated film. The second would probably be Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. I quote Kronk all the freaking time. And then Brave, like like, yeah, in terms of a movie, it's not as strong as a film as Aladdin. If I'm being completely honest, if I had to choose to watch one right now, I would choose Aladdin. Like 9 times out of 10 to watch it because it's a more enjoyable film. The historical context, like Abby said, like yeah, it really kind of like set a trend for Disney animated films for sure. This is the part where I break your heart, Abby.
Are you serious? Are you
But-
joking? Are you joking? Are you serious?
In context of like Disney princesses, like Jasmine in the original Aladdin doesn't really.
She's still cool though. What? Oh my
She's
God.
cool. I'm not saying she's not
She
cool.
is not a prize to be won. Like she is still a feminist. Oh my God. She's
she
just stuck in her
is, but the problem I have with the animated film compared to like the Guy Ritchie film is that she falls into that unfortunate Disney trope of damsel in distress. So here comes the brave, technically not a
Oh.
prince, but fake prince to come save her. And whereas like Merida does everything on her own, you know, I know.
God. Okay, whatever. She's not. If she gets to fucking top film, I'm gonna scream.
Abby's never coming back on the show.
She's never coming back on her show, dude.
Bro, what?
Unless it's a straight.
I can't even watch Brian put this on the like graphic.
Oh,
It's
Are you-
unfortunately
Oh
there.
my
I'm
God.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Sleeping Beauty and
I know we're the worst. We're gonna get canceled. Just
you
prepare.
are.
She's gonna go on like an online campaign, make fun of us on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm. Oh.
TikTok. I'm an old man, dude.
if I can be honest, I picked Brave mostly because I didn't think he was gonna make it through. I just wanted to be a little controversial, and I guess we
know
went
what? I respect
full
that.
controversial.
I respect that.
I really thought in terms of context of like Disney princesses. If we were just thinking just Disney films, Aladdin, 100 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Aladdin.
Yeah, I guess I didn't make my case for Jasmine as well as I should have. Like I should talk about the film, but like I can't believe this is happening.
I
Okay.
know. We're the worst. It's fine. We accept it. But hey, Brian, that's why we're friends, bro. High
That's
five.
right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what? I'll choose the next one. Because this one also seems like a real head scratcher. Because I legitimately love both of these characters. Legitimately, I'm gonna choose Little Mermaid and Mulan. And we haven't really talked about Little Mermaid yet. This is the first time we're kind of viewing it on the bracket. Little Mermaid, to me, dude, I legitimately love that film. I love the songs in it. Every time I go to Disneyland, it's like the ride I have to go on is that Little Mermaid ride in Disney's California Adventure. I legit love Little Mermaid. And you guys already heard how much I also love Mulan. They both have great soundtracks. They both have, to me, Little Mermaid is a strong character, even though you can make an argument that she does kind of fall a little bit into damsel in distress.
Yeah.
But it's like she has a great like arc in terms of like what she's willing to sacrifice to find love. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's really great. And then also to Ursula, just a juicy, delicious, evil character as well. And she has probably one of the best villain songs ever. Compared to like Mulan, that doesn't really have like a great villain song, you know. For the most part, most Disney movies have like that one standout villain song. Like Lion King has the song for Scar. Little Mermaid has the Ursula song. Beauty and the Beast, when we get to it, has the song by Gaston, which is like a banger. I love that tune too. So I really had to think in terms like for me, who do I feel is a stronger character? Is it Ariel or Mulan in terms of this case, right?
Yeah.
And even though I think I might say I enjoyed the movie Little Mermaid a little bit more just because of the animation and Sebastian, like Flounder and the arc and Ursula. I ultimately ended up choosing Mulan just because, again, of how independent she is, how like strong-willed and forward-thinking she is, how she kind of like is willing to make the greatest sacrifice just for the sake of saving her dad, which to me, like, again, like Ryan said, I'm also like a sucker for parent-child relationships. You know what I mean? And like for her to be like, I love my dad so much, I don't want him to die. I rather risk my life than risk his. It's like, it resonated with me just a little bit more than like Ariel's like, I like that dude. Let me like not sing anymore to get with him. Which is very simplistic synopsis, I know, but ultimately I went with Mulan for Little Mermaid and versus Mulan. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Ooh, he went quick with us. Like, me.
Yeah. because this is where I'm going to sound a little hypocritical, because like you said, like the father daughter thing in Mulan, it's great and it's what drives the whole film. But with that said, like Little Mermaid to me, it's like I said, the soundtrack was played over and over again in the car, and like the music is great. I love it. And Ariel's arc is, it's someone who feels like they don't belong in a place, right? And that to me really resonated, because I'm Japanese, but my family's from Peru, right? And living here in America, like there's three cultures that I'm balancing, and I don't feel like I'm enough of any one culture. That's how I felt my whole life, and the fact that Ariel also feels the way that she doesn't quite belong where she's at. That's me, and so I went with Little Mermaid on this one.
I don't blame you. Again,
Yeah.
I'm not. If any one of these win, I don't care if it ruins my bracket. I legitimately love these two films a lot.
I will be upset if Brave wins.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Abby, you're the tiebreaker.
Finally.
Okay. Well, I love The Little Mermaid. I think that Ariel is like, she's always been my girl. Like, it was her, and then and it has kind of transitioned to Rapunzel, but I will never forget my girl Ariel. I think she is kind of the quintessential Disney princess. She wants something, she goes and gets it, whether or not it was the correct way to do that. She learns from it. She has a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful film, beautiful music. It brought back, in terms of me bringing up the Disney history, it brought Disney back to being the animation standard. And so I love that film so much. I do love Mulan. I think that it is the strongest of the late 90s films, like post Lion King. I think it's the strongest of the second half of the decade. And I love Mulan. I think she is such a strong protagonist, but I'm going to go with Little Mermaid.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly fine with that. Little Mermaid is so good too. Like, this was actually really hard for me to choose, legitimately.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's legit. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes in terms of like the actual Disney princesses, to me she feels the most underrated, right? To me,
I feel like she has gotten the most like hate in recent years of being like not a feminist and like having I don't know. I feel like she has gotten a lot more hate recently and so like I do think she's underrated in that sense of like she was just vibing. She's 16. There's no reason why you need to hate on her. Like,
yeah. And just dude, Part of Your World, Under the Sea, like
you really gonna come out Under the Sea like that?
Yeah, dude. Poor Unfortunate Souls, like, that soundtrack to me, oh god, yeah.
That soundtrack is Disney. Like, that whole movie is quintessential Disney.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think that Mulan is quintessential Disney. I think it is a staple of the Disney animation history, but I don't think it's quintessential Disney like Ariel is.
That's fair. I'm cool with that.
Is it interesting that like Little Mermaid is the one that kind of started that Disney Renaissance, and then Mulan's the one that kind of ended it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Because I think after this was only Tarzan, and I think Mulan is way better than Tarzan. Not to come at Tarzan like that, but yeah, I think it kind of, you're right, Brian, is the end and beginning of an era. So we chose the beginning.
We chose the beginning. You know what? That's fine. All right. So all we have left is one that was also very difficult for me: Beauty and the Beast versus Princess and the Frog. Who wants to go first? Please don't let it be me. You know what, Brian? Executive order. You're going first for this one.
All right.
David, you haven't even seen Princess and the Frog.
So it doesn't mean I may have not voted for it.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Whew, this one's hard. I love Princess and the Frog. It's it's having Tiana as a protagonist. It's great. Historically, really important in terms of like Disney lore. Even the songs are fun. What's the one? Is Evangeline?
My Belle, Evangeline, yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. It's great. Beauty and the Beast. I remember watching this a lot as a kid. Um, Probably also on VHS, to be honest. And the songs are great. I love to sing along to them. To me, though, it's very problematic. It's indicative of a domestic violence kind of relationship. Like Belle gets treated horribly by the Beast, and then for her to ultimately just like accept it, and then kind of like work around it, and then ultimately like they fall in love and get married. Like it sends the wrong message, I think, right, for what it is. And I don't know. I can't find myself watching it anymore. Like I still love the soundtrack and I listen to it, but as far as watching the film, I don't watch it. I can't do it. But so I went with Princeton the Frog on this one.
Interesting.
David, you go.
What? I gotta go?
No.
So yeah, I've never seen Princess and the Frog. That being said, I've read so many reviews online, sometimes willingly, sometimes unwillingly, about the film, and I have heard the soundtrack. I love the bluesy Louisiana feel to it, the New Orleans jazz vibe to it. I thought it was a really great way and a really great representation of that culture. Me being a masters in jazz guy, like of course I'm gonna like that soundtrack. I also like, it's like the first princess that represents like a culture, specifically here in America. You know what I mean? It represents the African American culture very well, and like, of course, like being set in Louisiana and the whole New Orleans blues / Delta line jazz kind of feel to it. I have a little bias towards that, honestly, as a musician, even though I haven't seen the film. And then Beauty and the Beast, I don't know, man. Like I see what you're saying about it, Brian, and I can see how you could see it that way. I personally don't see it that way myself. Mostly because, like, yeah, Beast is kind of a dick in the beginning, right? But he's literally a wounded puppy. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys know anything about like rescue dogs, especially ones that were severely abused, like in the beginning, they're like very violent, right? That they lash out at you, but it's not because they want to hurt you. It's because they want to push you away because they don't fully trust you yet. And to me, and it may be the wrong way I'm viewing it, and that's fine. Film is subjective. It's okay. Like the Beast is kind of that. He's a wounded animal. Like he's been hurt. He's been rejected. He's been turned into this hideous, ugly thing, and he feels neglected. He feels damaged. He feels ugly. So of course, like his first natural reaction is like pushing people away by being an asshole, right? Like barking at Belle and like kind of like pushing her away. And then you kind of have the character of Gaston, who's like the opposite initial reaction of Beast, who's like, he's very inviting. He's very like, ooh, Belle, what's up, girl? Like he's really like forward about it and a lot more friendly, but he obviously has ulterior motives behind it. Whereas the Beast himself, like he's clearly just, it's a facade because he doesn't want to hurt himself. He doesn't want to hurt anybody else, right? Regardless of like everything else around it. That's the way I interpret it now as a grown man who kind of occasionally I'm kind of the Beast, man. Like I kind of felt like one period in my life where I was like, I'm going to push people away because I'm hurting. So I don't want to hurt anybody else. So I was kind of like, I wasn't like a huge asshole, but like I kind of relate. I kind of sympathize with the Beast a little bit. And then I feel like Bella's like, a lot of people tend to say Belle is like the first real like kind of feminist Disney princess, like where she's very independent. She's a forward thinker. She's obviously like the smartest one in her village. She's the only one that reads apparently. Like everyone else is just kind of like duh. All the men in the movie too are kind of idiots except for her dad, which is like kind of great. And I just love, dude, the animation in it was great. It's like the first like, I might be wrong about this, but it's like the first Disney 2D animated that kind of had computer graphics in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
With like the hall scene in it and stuff, which is like, it was a great combination of like hand drawn with computer graphics. And the songs are so great. The songs are literally Broadway musical worthy. They're so rich in the harmony. The melodies are instantaneously catchy. Like you hear any song and it's like in your head, right? It's just automatically the Gaston song, obviously Beauty and the Beast, there may be something there that wasn't there before. Like everything about it is just lovely. So I personally had to go with Beauty and the Beast. Me personally. So Abby gets to have another tiebreaker. Good luck.
I love Princess and the Frog. I love the soundtrack. I'm a big lover of the city of New Orleans. And so I think that there's so much soul to that movie, just like what David was saying with the Louisiana feels and just the music. And I love Tiana as a protagonist. I think that she is such a strong character, and the way that she goes and gets what she wants, and she doesn't necessarily believe in fairy tales. And like, yes, like she, like her lesson is to like live life a little bit more. And I think that's such like a good message, because especially kids today, we're just taught to just keep going, like work hard, be like, get like, keep grinding. But like, also you need to like relax, you need to chill out, you know? And so I think that's such a beautiful message in the film. Beauty and the Beast for me is such a classic. There's a reason why this film was nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. I think that Belle is such a character that gets not copied, but just that is someone that should be embodied in. No, I don't scratch that. That's not what I was trying to say. I think that Belle is such a protagonist that people have imitated and looked up to since then, and like made their female characters because of the way that Belle is. And I love this movie. I think the soundtrack is probably second or tied with The Little Mermaid. I don't know if that's probably just because it's Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, but I think it's just such a beautiful, perfect film. And I like Belle. Do I like Belle more than Tiana? I think I'm going to go with Beauty and the Beast, because I like Belle.
Friends again. Get out of here, Brian. You're not part of our.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, it's not. It's like now we're getting besides Brave, like we're getting to the part where it's like, okay, I'm not totally mad.
All right, good.
What about up here?
But if Beauty and the Beast loses Brave, I'm gonna scream.
I do want to say though, Brian, like I could legitimately see, because I've heard that argument before of like, oh, Belle has Stockholm syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And I can kind of see how maybe you can interpret it that way, but just to me, the way I viewed that film, I don't see it that way necessarily.
Sometimes I watch this pretty frequently, and sometimes I get where people are saying that, and sometimes like, no, she learned to love him, and he was just really troubled. And like I personally go back and forth, but y'all caught me on like a not Stockholm syndrome day, I guess.
But it's a fair assessment. It's legitimately a fair assessment, because like the beginning of it, like it is a little problematic. It's just you know, again, this is kind of the beauty of film, right? That you can be subjective about it. To me, though, it does feel like, because I always compare it to Gaston, who like the beginning, they're both like completely different characters, and Gaston clearly has ulterior motives. He doesn't care about Belle. He's only thinking about one thing, right? And so is Beast, but like in a different perspective, and like they both ultimately have different arcs where, you know, Beast kind of gets over his trauma a little bit, whereas Gaston just kind of goes deeper into it towards the end, to the point of being just a violent douche. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the way I interpret it, but I'm not saying either way is right way. It's just the way I see that film. All right. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves versus Moana. I think I'll go first, I guess. It feels like I haven't gone first in a while, so I'll go first. This one legit was hard, because I legit love both. I love the historical context of Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. I love what it meant for the Disney Empire, and how this kind of like basically gives us Disney, like.
And it gives us all. Sorry to cut you off, but
Go for it.
It gives us all of animation. This is the first animated feature. So, but
this movie literally changed the industry as we know it, like legitimately, like from everything. Like the historical context of Snow White is so great. And then like Moana is really great too, because I feel like it is kind of like, it's a good like modern princess film. So I really had to go with just gut feeling. And now I've done this before, and if you're mad at me, that's fine. But I'm gonna change my answer to what I originally had, because now that I'm really thinking on it, I'm talking myself into the other one. So, and this has happened before. This happened in the first episode, I think, with Janine, where I talked myself into like, you know what, I made a mistake. Let me change my answer real quick. And I'm glad I'm going first, so no one thinks I'm like shilling for one or the other. So, I initially had Moana on this, and I'll tell you why. Because I did think as a protagonist, as a Disney princess, she is like a stronger lead. The whole arc of not needing a man to save her and what have you. That being said, like Snow White is literally quintessential masterpiece, first animated film. We don't get anything without it. Film, and like say what you will about Snow White herself, she is kind of like she's a bit independent, right? She manages to get through that forest by herself, right? And she befriends, yeah, sure, she befriends dwarves and kind of takes advantage of them a little bit, but
She cleans her house.
she cleans the house. She made some pies, right? The forest animals love her. And dude, like the villain of the Queen and the Witch, right? That juxtaposition, like it's so scary. Like the Disney ride itself is horrifyingly scary. Like it traumatizes kids, and that just the historical context of what that film means for the literal industry. I'm doing an audible. Y'all can get mad at me later. It might not win anyways. I don't care at this point because I've been wrong twice. But I'm going with Snow White officially. So whoever wants to fight me, go for it, bro.
Brian?
Oh man, I think so. I also initially had Moana on here.
Yeah.
And I feel like David talked me into switching it to Snow White. I don't know.
Oh my god, do we all vote Snow White?
Oh my god.
Is that a vibe?
Oh no,
Dude, are we best friends again?
Are we
Please?
all three of us best friends?
Did I talk you into
I feel like you talked me into picking
Hell
Snow
yeah.
White.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, like there would be no other princesses on this list if it wasn't for Snow White. Like every protagonist on this list is based off of Snow White in some way.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And so
yeah, no, legitimately. And you take into consideration like literally everything about this film was hand drawn.
it's a beautiful film and it's
so
still
gorgeous. Yeah, it's so cool to look at. Legitimately, the art in it, the way the characters move, the animation, the innovation that Disney had to make for the background, how to get the characters moving and stuff. The movie is solid. The music is wonderful for what it is. Yeah, I convinced myself and I convinced Brian. Hell yeah, Abby, what did you ultimately vote on? Just so clean sweep.
Yes, it's a clean sweep. I originally, when I did this, I thought Tangled was going to win. So I probably would have maybe voted Tangled over this, but I love Snow White. I love the soundtrack. That soundtrack is like, all the songs slap for me.
That is
which is like, so it's so crazy to think about a film from 1937 is like a film that like is still talked about so much.
Yeah.
Because like, yes, you have like films like The Wizard of Oz and stuff, but like not really anything besides like Snow White. Are you really talking about films from the 30s? And so Snow White is just it's a really gorgeous film, and I don't think she really needs to be included in like, oh my god, is it a feminist film or whatever. I just think it's a gorgeous film and it's based on a classic fairy tale and it's what it is.
It is what it is. I agree with that too. And this is the problem, right, that we kind of enter sometimes when we view older films in a 2020 vision. As like obviously we live in a different time where different things and we have different morals and different ethics and what have you. But if you can remove yourself from that time and just watch the film for what it was in that time period, it's a masterpiece of a film, quite honestly. Like it's cinema. It's like, maybe it might not be like your favorite film of all time, but in terms of like most influential films ever in cinema, it's got to be like top 5 at the very least. Like,
yeah,
we legit don't get animated films without this film. Like,
an entire division of cinema is based, like, just animation is because Walt Disney proved he could do it with this.
Yep.
With this film. So it's crazy.
Awesome. Hell yeah. That's why I won debate team in my senior year in high school.
Oh, really? Oh,
That's right. That's right. Come at me, boys. Alrighty. We have our semifinals. Whoa, man, we fought. We haven't really fought. It's been wonderful debating with you guys, honestly. But we've might have gotten mad at each other. Some friendships might have ended and then rekindled and then ended and rekindled again. But here we are, semifinals, baby. Beauty and the Beast versus Brave, and Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs versus The Little Mermaid. Brr, 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 brr. I don't know where to start. I do know now, because I think we would make Abby very free if a certain film went away from this bracket forever. Let's see if it does. We're going with Beauty and the Beast versus Brave. And I'm going to let Abby go first because I'm pretty sure I know who she voted for. But
Yes. I think looking at these two films specifically, like I know I have hated on Brave since the minute they showed this film. But, I just think Beauty and the Beast is such a way more classic film. Brave kind of doesn't hold up a lot for me because it is one of the weakest Pixar films. I think that Pixar is such an innovative studio, and Brave kind of just did the same thing that Disney had been doing. I didn't really get like that Pixar magic from this film. And so, and Beauty and the Beast is Disney magic. And so I think just based on that, that's why I'm voting Beauty and the Beast.
no. Now look.
Oh my God.
I've been voting for my girl Merida up to this point.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like,
Bro, dude, I would be remiss not to vote for it. So I'm going to be remiss because I didn't vote for it. It's Beauty and the Beast for me. Like, you just can't compare it to Belle and that arc and that film and like Abby said, and I completely 1000% agree. Beauty and the Beast is like perfect Disney magic, right? If we take Disney out of Brave and just think of it as like a Pixar film, which is what sometimes Disney wants us to do, it doesn't capture that Pixar magic the way like Toy Story did, the way Finding Nemo did, and Monsters Inc., what have you. It's a good film, relatively speaking, of course, but in terms of Pixar, I will also admit it's a weaker Pixar film. And just, yeah, to me, Beauty and the Beast is so quintessential. Like, it's such a beautiful film in every aspect for me. So, yeah, I'm going to be remiss because I voted for Beauty and the Beast. All right, Brian, your vote does not matter, but what did you vote for?
I had Princess and the Frog, to be honest.
Oh,
At this point, yeah. So I guess it doesn't matter what I pick, but man, if I'm going just off of what's in front of me here, I know I didn't say a lot of good things about Beauty and the Beast, but
No, you
it was
didn't.
only because I was trying to get my bracket to hold up. I will say I do love Beauty and the Beast as a film. It is fantastic. Animation is great. The songs are wonderful. The voice acting also it's amazing, right? Just for coming before like Aladdin, right? Because Aladdin was the one you mentioned, kind of kicked off the whole. We need a celebrity to be a part of this to be able to sell it. Beauty and the Beast didn't do that. Right? It used actual voice actors, right? People who are trained to like emote with their voices, and it holds up. It holds up. So I'm gonna go with Beauty and the Beast too.
Brian, I just want to say it's very apropos that you're wearing an Angels hat because much like the Angels, you too will not be making it to the finals. I had to. I love the Angels too, but I had to. I'm sorry, man. Be mad later.
you really had to come at him like that.
Yeah, I had to. He's my boy. I could do that to my boy. He knows. He knows. It's like Mets. It's like Mets fans. They know.
Yeah.
You know who you're rooting for. You know who you're rooting for.
No, but
All right. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. I'm gonna let Brian go first for this one because I just threw some shit at him. So,
this is hard because historically Snow White is really important, but at the same time, so is Little Mermaid, right? Because it's also the beginning of an era for Disney. I guess based off just rewatchability and soundtrack and the fact that Ariel's a redhead, I'm going with The Little Mermaid.
Abby.
If one redhead can't make it, the other one will.
Fair enough. Abby, who did you choose between?
So these movies are very similar in the sense of like what they represent for the company, which is the beginning of a new era. Like Little Mermaid, there hadn't been a fairy tale since Sleeping Beauty, and Little Mermaid was the first one to come back and do that. And Snow White was the first of its own kind of genre in film and a new medium. And so they both represent a lot historically. I think that Snow White and Ariel are seen very similarly, like we've talked about, in terms of being a woman protagonist and just how they're analyzed. But I think Little Mermaid is a stronger film. I think the soundtrack, as much as I was hyping up Snow White a few minutes ago, I love Little Mermaid a little bit more than Snow White. So my vote's Little Mermaid.
Cool. My vote doesn't matter. Sweet.
What was it, Snow White?
I honestly, this is where my bracket is jacked up because I had Mulan making it to the finals, and clearly Mulan didn't make it past that second round. So,
Yeah.
But in terms of like, if I had to choose one between Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Little Mermaid, I initially was thinking Snow White, mostly because of the historical context of it, obviously. But if I'm thinking of it just purely on enjoyment, the way you guys kind of similarly did, I enjoy Little Mermaid a little bit more. I think the music is a lot more relevant to me. I remember a lot more songs from Little Mermaid compared to Snow White, especially some of the melodies. Like I can clearly hear a lot of the melodies from Little Mermaid compared to Snow White. And also too, if I'm thinking just again on pure enjoyment, if I had the choice between going on the Little Mermaid ride and going on that Snow White ride, I'm choosing Little Mermaid because it's a way more pleasant experience compared to the horrifying nightmare that is the Snow White ride in Disneyland. So yeah, I would go Little Mermaid. So here's where my bracket's done, but it doesn't matter because now we have our finalists. We have Beauty and the Beast versus The Little Mermaid. This is it, guys. This is where we decide for the internet what is the quintessential best Disney princess film of all time. Nothing else matters after that. Nothing. Literally nothing.
Literally.
We have literally the future of America, nay, the future of the world in our hands. And we're going to let Abby start it off because she's our guest.
Oh, my goodness.
Be our guest. Be our
That was a good one.
Little segue, right?
Yeah, that was a good segue.
I do stuff all right. I'm not just a clever musician. I'm a clever guy.
Yeah, you guys. Well, this lineup is not unexpected, but it's also really making me choose between like my favorite children. There is so much that is perfect about both of these films for me. Mm-hmm. They're at the height of this era for Disney. They are two of the most memorable films, the two most like referenced films. I think that Little Mermaid wouldn't exist if like Little Mermaid walked so Beauty and the Beast could run. I think that Howard Ashman and Alan Menken both have really beautiful soundtracks on this. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know as I'm speaking which one I want. I think I'm going to go with Beauty and the Beast. So.
Brian?
Oh, man.
This is legit hard.
Yeah, this is really hard.
The finals always are, but like I echo a lot of what Abby just said, but I'm gonna let you go.
All right. I'm gonna bring up a point you brought up earlier in the fact that musically, like Beauty and the Beast is very Broadway, right? And I've seen like the Broadway play of Beauty and the Beast, and it's fantastic. And it's so much fun. And I've also seen the Disney Plus version of The Little Mermaid on stage. That one is not as fun. I mean, it's still fun to watch, but it's like it doesn't flow very well, to say the least. And I also don't know as I'm speaking. I think I will say so. I had Little Mermaid going all the way to the end on my bracket.
Ooh.
But in terms of story and music and the way that it's been kind of encompassed into our like pop culture world, I'm probably gonna have to go with Beauty and the Beast.
You're deviating from your bracket, really?
I am.
You're gonna do that to yourself? You're gonna purposefully throw in the towel, really?
Because I honestly didn't have Beauty and the Beast going to the finals, and then now that it is there, I don't know. It's no. I'll change my answer because I want David to do. I want David to be a tiebreaker, so I'm gonna go with Little Mermaid.
Okay, all right. I was about to say, bro.
Yeah, because she's a redhead, and who doesn't love redheads?
Wow. Much like Gaston, you revealed your true colors at the end. Good for you, sir. I'm just kidding. You're nothing like that turd bucket. All right.
Actually, at Disneyland in the animation studios downstairs below, they used to have this section where you can kind of like answer questions, and they tell you which Disney character you are. Oftentimes, I would get guessed on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not. I would
No.
Are you Slytherin too?
No, I am Ravenclaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I was never happy whenever I got guessed on.
I'm Hufflepuff, baby. Woo!
I'm a Slytherin actually. So.
You're Slytherin? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that makes sense. What more can I say that hasn't really been said about these two films? Both wonderful films, both films I love, both soundtracks I love. It ultimately comes down to, I guess, which songs slap a little bit more for me and which character I feel resonates a little bit more with me. And I went with Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I think she is a slightly stronger lead compared to Ariel. Not to say that Ariel isn't a great protagonist and a great lead. It's just, to me, Belle is like, she's like that start of like having like really like feminist, strong female character, not just a damsel in distress who needs a prince to save her. Like, if anything, she's the one that saves the prince in this case, saves him from like himself and his traumas and what have you. And just the music in it is so great. There's a reason why, like Abby said, it got nominated for Best Picture. So I had Beauty and the Beast winning it all the way. I am not deviating from my answer. It's Beauty and the Beast for me. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is the top quintessential, definitive, nothing that anybody says after this matters, because we're the ones that matter ultimately.
Yes.
Top Disney princess film is, in fact, Beauty and the Beast. Guys, round of applause for us. We did it. Wow.
We did it.
It was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get us here, but we got here. We did it. Now is the time that we reveal our busted brackets. So I'm going to start with Abby. I'm going to give the floor to Abby real quick. So Abby, if you don't mind, I'm going to put you full screen, and can you show us the bracket that we ultimately failed for you? Oh my God, that's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Here we go.
Okay. So I didn't have it written down, but hold on. I have it. This is where I was going to go. So like I have it written down on my laptop. Okay. I actually changed my mind very close to recording. I was going to say Frozen over Princess and the Frog. And then I had Beauty and the Beast beating Frozen. And then Aladdin beating Pocahontas, Sleeping Beauty beating Brave, and then Aladdin beating Sleeping Beauty, and then Beauty and the Beast beating Aladdin to go to the finals. And then Moana losing to Tangled, Tangled beating Snow White, Mulan beating Cinderella, Little Mermaid beating Mulan, and then Little Mermaid beating Moana. So it actually ended up being the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. Yeah. Brian, let's go to you. What was your bracket? What did that look like?
Oh man. Okay. There you go.
Okay.
So I had Little Mermaid going all the way. I guess I did have Princess and the Frog going farther than it actually went. But for the most part, I think everything worked out okay.
Awesome. I'll show my bracket real quick.
Yeah.
The only thing that really got busted was my right here. Where was it? Like about right here. I had Mulan in the finals, obviously. But other than that, my bracket, I think, is probably the most solid one out of all of us, right?
Yeah, I think
you
were the most accurate about Snow White. too.
Yes, yeah, that's weird because I legit that was the one I called an audible because I convinced myself to go Snow White. I was like, I originally had Moana going over Snow White, but then I started literally thinking myself into an argument of like I made a poor choice. I choose Snow White, and then it worked out. I convinced you guys.
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah. So I mean, great minds think alike. That's how I'm using it. It's not that I have the power of persuasion or anything, because I clearly don't. But yes, so that's our bracket. You guys at home, how did you guys do? Did you do as well as us? Did you do poor? Did you have a perfect bracket? Tell us in the comment section down below. Abby, we're going to give you the floor one more time. Tell the people where they can find you if you have anything you want to plug, Instagram, Twitter, what have you.
Y'all can find me at Abigail Freel on all social media and at my YouTube channel, Abby Freel, and my Twitch, Absters21, and follow the Schmodown TikTok at the Schmodown, and be sure to give it a like and a follow and comment and just, interact with that TikTok account because I'm putting a lot of work into it. So that'd be great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, legit. It was so fun having you. I honestly, you can legit ask Brian when we were like Disney Princess. I was like, Abby, that's it.
That's sweet. I'm glad we didn't totally kill each other by the end.
No. Do you still hate us though?
No, actually. Yeah. If I think I would have hated you if Brave would have.
Honestly, this is legit. This is legit like the big brother in me because I have two younger sisters I mentioned. I almost changed everything to Brave just so I can upset you.
Yeah, because I was just like, she obviously we talked about this during the bracket, but like she just has for me the objectively worst movie. But it's still not a bad movie. It's just like for me not like my least favorite. Like it is my least favorite. So I was like, how is this going anywhere?
That's fair. It's because unfortunately you have two males telling you what is the right opinion. Yeah. Brian, Brian, where can the people find you?
On Instagram at Kuno_stars. Don't look for me on Twitter. I don't use it.
Yeah, he still hasn't added me on Twitter, and
I'll follow you on Instagram. And everyone go follow.
And you can find me at DavidBMusic21, both on Twitter and Instagram. I have a Twitch. You can follow me, twitch.tv/DavidBMusic21. And you can follow this podcast at Speak Freely Pod, both on Twitter and Instagram. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, first of all, thank you. We appreciate the views. Second of all, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, what the fuck are you doing? I thought we were friends, bro. Hi. Thank you. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so when we drop other episodes, you guys are in the know with the cool kids like us with the definitive godlike opinions that we have on this show, especially when you have a god like Abby on here.
Thank you.
And then finally, you can find our podcast on most podcast feeds. You can go to anchor.fm/speakfreelypod. We're on Spotify, Castbox, whatever have you, except Apple, because Apple's being weird about it, but who cares?
That's all right.
Guys, that has been an episode. This is our third episode of FILMTOBER. This was a lot of fun. Thank you again so much, Abby. This was legit. So much fun. It was a lot. I had a great time. I hope you did too.
I really did. One of the most
really fun.
I've ever done.
This was legitimately really fun. We were both legitimately scared because we're like, should we be talking about Disney princess films?
Everyone is allowed to love Disney princesses. Yeah. They are not.
Yeah, I wanted to do something Disney, and this one just felt like niche enough where like we can actually talk about a lot of different things here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And also too,
so thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and if anything, I hope it teaches like anyone can love Disney princess films. We love Disney princess films. Except Brave for Abby. And also too, if we're being honest, now that the bracket's over, Brave has the weakest soundtrack. Because it has no songs. Like, duh.
Yeah, it does. Okay, I do go hard to Touch the Sky though.
Yeah,
that song kind of low-key slaps. But
really, like out of all the Disney films though, which one legit has like the best like banger for
Enchanted?
banger?
Enchanted has the best song, to be honest. Yeah.
Maybe that's the next bracket is best musicals.
Best musicals.
Ooh, that's an idea.
That's a great
best Disney musicals.
Brian, write it down. Brian, write it down.
Best
What are you doing? Guys, that is it. That has been an episode for Speak Freely. We are signing off. Thank you guys once again so much. And I just do this. Ready, Brian? Can we synchronize it? Ready?
Oh.
We're not good at that.
No.